in terms of intelligence collection as well, China is far ahead in many parameters. And one of the interesting points here is that since you also mentioned Australia, Confucius Institutes has become a major issue for them. And all over the world as well. I mean, even in America, it was an issue where they were continuously recruiting a lot of Chinese diaspora to send them intelligence back to their home. How is this any different from the normal embassies and consulates, which are also popularly known for intelligence gathering? And can you explain in a very layman terms for our viewers who may not understand what exactly is happening with Confucius Institutes?
See, it's very normal for countries that have certain kind of soft power, right, to use their academic institutions, to use their researchers, to use their writers, to propel a vision that they espouse. Now, there is a reason why America is very popular. A lot of the or America is what it is in terms of public imagination, in terms of Indian middle class imagination. You associate America with certain key deliverables, certain key items. Whether it is McDonald's or KFC or whether it's Hollywood, or whether it is even the fact that you had America. You go to Delhi and other areas, you have fantastic libraries like American Center, or even the Brits had British Council in Delhi, which is so. These are institutions which are, because they are situated in the context of democracies. They are open, they are transparent, they are doing what they are, yes, they would also do some intelligence collection in their own ways. They would also engage with the intellectuals, with the people of various stripes within the country. But what the problem arises when authoritarian regimes like the Chinese Communist Party have these platforms which lack transparency, which lack any kind of wider engagement with the wider world, and so everything is about becomes simply a matter of where you are doing everything covertly. Rather than propagating an honest assessment of what China is, you propagate a sanitized version of China. And that means that those who are coming into these institutions to study, they're not being trained in an academic sense where you look at different opinions, different views. They are being indoctrinated, right? Like the communists do worldwide. But this is an indoctrination at a global scale. Now, this all countries do it. We, for example, bring in we give scholarships to people from Africa, from developing countries. We bring them here. We train them in our best education institutions. But being a democracy, you come here, you can criticize India, you can criticize the government, and you can do all kinds of things. And you can, once you go back, there is no expectation that you'll be singing hosannas to India. But there, the challenge is that you are being indoctrinated in a worldview where there are no where different opinions don't exist, and that creates its own set of challenges, because this then becomes a one-way street. Right. And so a lot of these institutions that are not simply in Australia, but if you look at Nepal, we have had a problem because a lot of these Confucius institutions are along the border with India. And so the reality, of course, is today what they have. And Chinese have a lot of money. They can fund a lot of people. A lot of scholars go to China and become wedded to the Chinese dream. And that is a reality. So in a sense, money begets this kind of power. If you see, this is not simply about Confucius institutions. It is also about how the instrumentality of Chinese Communist Party is able to penetrate some of the biggest democracies in the world. Right. There's this various, the last year or earlier this year report that had come out. So how some of these big ticket institutions, New York Times, Washington Post, have so much funding from China. Even in our country, you see these, Indian Express and other newspapers carrying these, infomercials, editorials about China, as if this is news. See, we get so worked up when you hear stories that a political party is funding news stories about another political party or about their own paid news, the site. But this is also paid news, but this is much more much more dangerous, because here is a country that is infringing into this space and using the openness, rather transparency of a democracy to penetrate it from within, and that is a challenge that all democracies are facing. The good news is that countries are waking up to that challenge. Whether it is technology, whether it is media, whether it is other kinds of information warfare, Chinese have become adept at it, because they know that while they can create firewalls, the other democracies are not going to create firewalls. So I think that is a challenge, and hopefully with this debate on 5G, which sort of galvanized a lot of this discussion, hopefully in the future it will, the open societies will be able to resist this process much more potently.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.